Yeah, Jack, it seems like the Vikings came out firing, but they seem to have lost some momentum toward the end of the first half. What happened?
Well, Jacob, I want to take us back to three of the biggest plays that we saw, starting with that pass interference call. Now, we saw this earlier in the night. Williams looking end zone. Now, this pass is broken up. From my angle, it looks like a clean pass breakup, but the refs must have saw something different, leading to the PI call, and that led to this wide open touchdown pass to Gavin Richards. You just can't leave him open like that. And when it's 2 points to tie the game, you've got to find Leighton Logie. The Buckeyes sure did, and that's what led to a halftime tie, and that ultimately gave the Buckeyes the momentum heading in. So it was the Buckeyes' newfound momentum in the end of the first half that led them to their second straight title. Jacob, this week we saw two key matchups that have major implications for the TVC Ohio title. Based on the skill level of these four teams, I consider these conference matchups to be a 1 versus 4 and a 2 versus 3. Now, the Nelsonville York Buckeyes are the team to beat right now. In their last 3 games, they've outscored opponents 121-26. They match up against a struggling Megs team with a lot of speed, looking to fight to keep their conference title chances alive. And in the other matchup, the Vinton County Vikings. They found their footing and posed the biggest challenge to NY for the title, but they battle an Alexander team that's having their best start to a season since 2015 at 4-1. While Vinton County struggled early last week against Athens, the Alexander defense showed out against the Bulldogs, shutting them out 30-0.
Common way to break the huddle among most football teams, but for the Waverly Tigers, that chant means a little more.
We take care of our own because it's like a big work family, and we are family.
Following the junior varsity team's Week 3 game, freshman running back and middle linebacker Blake Osborne was rushed to Adena Hospital.
I was just at halftime feeling really weak and couldn't focus on anything. I sat the second half because I didn't feel right the rest of it.
Doctors discovered that Osborne's brain was displaced 7 millimeters off center and had over 7 millimeters of blood pressing his brain against his skull. Osborne was then rushed to undergo surgery to remove part of his skull to alleviate the pressure.
To see something wrong with especially your kid is a shock in itself, but to go up there and realize that now he has to have brain surgery when just 5 hours before that he was playing a high school football game was a huge shock to the system.
As soon as Osborne underwent surgery, Waverly and the surrounding communities came together to help fund the family. One of the programs was hosted by Cardo's Pizza, which donated 50% of their proceeds and 100% of their tips for a day to the Osborne family. By the end of the night, Cardo's sales exceeded $10,000, all in support of Blake. Despite the adversity such an injury presents, Osborne has made tremendous strides in his recovery.
He's a medical miracle because he shouldn't be walking, talking, possibly not be here. Second impact syndrome, almost a death sentence. And if it's not a death sentence, you're left with some serious disabilities normally.
But unfortunately, Blake was also told he shouldn't play football again, and he agreed.
I had plans to go to college. I was getting visit offers to go to colleges as a freshman, and then it happened, and I was like, well, I'm going to have to change just about everything that I was planning on.
Still, for Blake and his family, his recovery, his spirits, and hope for the future, none of it would have been possible without the support of a community brought together by football and family.
That small town's going to take care of you when times get tough, and I mean this is proof of that.
At the heart of every football program is a long line of history that communities in Southeast Ohio hold near and dear.
Just growing up in Logan, it still means a lot to me, and so my little efforts to kind of keep the pride and tradition and history of Logan football and really Logan sports in general alive is kind of just a fun hobby that I've had and make an effort to keep doing.
For about 20 years, Logan alumnus Spencer Waugh has been collecting pieces of Chieftain history.
I see myself more as a caretaker for the items.
What started as a competition with alumni has turned into something more.
And that kind of became LoganFootball.com and started going through old yearbooks and old newspapers and kind of documenting kind of the history of Logan football. And people would slowly start to kind of give me items, give me things to collect.
The items include the helmets and jerseys worn by the teams over the years, as well as various mementos from players and coaches. When it comes to these items, Wa's longtime goal?
To preserve them, find ways to digitize them so that we can share them with people who, whether it's their kids or their grandkids, that for future generations, that stuff's there for people to see.
110 years, all preserved by one man for the community of Logan to always remember. Summer collegiate baseball is a special time for Athens, especially for the student interns who run the day-to-day operations of the Southern Ohio Copperheads. The internships have been unpaid until this year. Student directors who've been working since January receive $500, while those working in season receive $250. The stipend is added to 26 students' accounts in the form of a scholarship.
And to get something out of it more than just the experiences, it kind of leaves you speechless almost.
We love sports and we need an internship, but she told us, and $500 sounds pretty cool, so we were all pretty pumped.
The stipends come from a student support fund created by former Ohio University College of Business Development Officer Ryan O'Connor, with backing from donors John and Kelly Katowski.
I know that everyone wants to continue to raise money for this fund, so it's really exciting.
The Copperheads say the fund needs support from the community to support future interns creating summer memories in Athens. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Jack Demmler in Athens.